Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna do a video about how I got my job. So a lot of people ask me how I got my job at the age of 18 because, you know, as you guys, some of you know from watching my vlogs, I work in a primary school as a TA. A TA is a teaching assistant, and so you know, it's really hard to get that kind of job at my age, and especially with no qualifications. And so I'm just gonna explain that a bit further. So when I was 17, I left college, and in college I did business, citizenship, art and design, and I was retaking maths as well. And boo boo, I have not passed my maths. I did not pass my maths, so I have got no maths. So that just shows that nobody's perfect, and sometimes you don't get things, and I found maths really hard, and I still haven't got my maths. And so that's how I'm just so thankful to God for what I got now. And so yeah, so I didn't get my maths, and I did business, citizenship and art and design, and I was doing art and design from GCSE, so I had a lot of experience with art and design, so I knew a lot about that anyway. And so I can't remember exactly what grades I got in them, but I think they were pretty decent. But yeah, so I did that, and then when I left, whilst I was in college, I was applying for universities, and I applied for one in particular that I really wanted to go to, which was Roehampton. I signed up for the I applied to the university. I went through UCAS and everything like that, and then I got an interview. So I was like, oh my gosh, I got an interview. Like, my grades or my things weren't really that great, but they gave me an interview. And so the day before I found out in the interview, you needed to bring in something with the examiners, bring in something like an app or a book or something that you can work with kids with, and explain how you would work with children with it. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I was freaking out. I didn't know what to bring. And then in my room I found a book, which was Jungle Book, and I was like, how am I going to incorporate this inside telling them what I would teach the kids about? And so I thought, okay, so Jungle Book has loads of different animals, and you got Mowgli the boy, and he went into a jungle. He didn't know anyone. We're all different, but they all came together. So it's kind of like how I saw it, was like different races, different ethnicities, different kinds of people all came together as one, and they lived in harmony. So I thought that would be something I would teach a child, like, or teach a class. Like, doesn't matter what race you're from, whoever you are, you know, you are accepted. No, like, whatever color you are, you know, you're accepted. So I thought, okay, that's gonna help, because a lot of people in this day and age, it's all about acceptance, feeling accepted. And so that was an idea that I thought of, and I said it to them, and they really loved it. And it so happened that the woman that was interviewing me, she because she asked me what would I specialize in, and I said I would specialize in art, obviously, because I did a lot of art. And it so happened that she was actually the head of art in the whole university. And so I was like, rah, like, God moves mysteriously. And so she really liked that, obviously, and she was like, okay, cool, you know, I'll see you, I'll give you the results when you come back. And so yeah, I forgot to mention, before we had the interview, we had to do like a test, like a maths test, an English test. So it was kind of hard, but I still had to do it. And yeah, so I left thinking, oh my gosh, am I gonna get it? Oh no, I'm not sure. And then I got the interview, and I got into the university. So I was so happy. I was like, yes, all I need to do is get my grades, because it was a conditional offer. So that meant that I needed to get my maths, I needed to get certain grades in the subjects I was doing. And I got the grades for the other things, like my business, my citizenship and my art and design, but I didn't get maths. So I didn't get to go to the university. So I was really sad, I was really upset, and I was just like, felt so defeated. And I was just like, what am I gonna do? Like, I can't stay at home. Like, what am I gonna do? I don't have my maths. How am I even meant to get a regular job in McDonald's or something? Like, I just was just like, what am I gonna do? God, like, please help me. And that was one of the hardest places in my life. Like, a lot of my friends will know, when I speak to them, they'll know how hard it was for me and how sad I was. My parents, my family would know how sad I was, because I was really discouraged. Like, I didn't think I'd do anything. I thought that uni was the goal. Like, if you went to uni and you done something, then you're getting a job. Like, there's no doubt about it, you're cool and you're set. So I thought, what am I gonna do? Like, and for a long time I was just idle. I remember I was just I remember just being in my house and waking up every morning, not going anywhere. I'm just in the house. I'll tidy the house, I'll clean, I'll sit around, go on my phone. I see everyone's at uni doing their things, and even though uni is hard, it was something I wanted to do. Like, it was something that I wanted to accomplish, and I never. And so I was just like all sitting around and just like, oh, really sad. And a lot of people at my church I was asking people to pray for me, and they were praying. And then one of the girls at my church, her and another girl, they worked for an agency called Sugarman Agency, and it was teaching. Like, they did teaching. It was to do with school, so you could work in a secondary school, primary school, or a SCN school, a special needs school, and basically as a TA, like a supply TA or anything along those lines. And so I found out that that's what they were doing, because one of the girls came up to me and told me, because she knew that's what I wanted to do. And so she was like, yeah, I'll give you their email, I'll give you their contacts, like, tell them what you want to do and they should be able to take you on. And I was thinking, I don't know, because I don't really have qualifications, so I don't know if they'll take me. And so I thought, you know what, I know the God that I serve, let me try it anyway. So I called them and I set up the interview, and obviously I didn't have my DBS, so I had to get all that sorted out. And the DBS, anyone that has got their DBS knows that it's a long process here. DBS basically is to check with your, you know, eligible to work with children. And so that was a long process, and I finally got it, so I could go for the interview and give them my passport, my DBS and all that kind of stuff. And so I went for the interview, and I was sitting there and I was telling them about my grades, and they were like, oh, okay, well, we'll see what we can do for you, we'll see. And that was actually kind of like a horror story, because I remember I was that interview was like, because I remember sitting there and he was like, yeah, we'll see what we do. And then he was like, I'm coming back, Renee, I'll be back, I'm just going to sort out something. And then I was sitting there for about an hour and he didn't come back. And then that's when I realized, like, wait, am I a waste man to be sitting here waiting for this guy to come back? So I spoke to the receptionist. I was like, hey, listen, this guy that was interviewing me hasn't come back. And she was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, he's in a meeting. And I was just thinking, from then I was like, oh my days, like, this is so unprofessional, like, what is this? And then I thought, you know what, hey, like, things happen, I'm in a desperate time in my life right now, I need anything, I just need it, any job, I just need to get a job. Like, it doesn't really matter what it's like, I can't complain, God has given me this opportunity to do this. And so all that was sorted, and he said he would call me and let me know what he can do. And so I think it was, when was it? It was like a few days or 2 weeks later, and during that time I was like, oh my gosh, they're not gonna call me back. Like, oh, what am I gonna do? Like, they haven't called me back, I wasn't good enough. And then he called and he told me I had a job. So I went for a job in I went to work in a primary school in Erith, I think, and that was far. So I went there for 2 days, I was supplying, and that was far, but that was really good experience. And then after that I went to another school in Angel, and that was far, because, you know, I live in Penge, Bromley area. So you know, that was far. Train journeys, I wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, and get on the train for 6. So it was like, it was manic, it was hectic. And so I remember doing all that and just thinking, like, God, I just need a job that's close to me. And so finally this year, January, when the whole new term started, my consultant found me a job in a school in my area. And this school is literally 5 minutes away. I can walk there. It's a lovely school, the staff are so lovely, I just love them. The teacher I work with is so gracious and nice, and the kids, I just love the kids, they're so adorable. Of course you've got your naughty ones, but that's expected. And so I just love the school, and that's why I'm working at the moment. I've been working there since January the 5th, so I've been working there for about 5 months now. Yeah, coming up to 6 months soon. For 5 months I've been working there, and I think hopefully I can get a permanent job. Hopefully they'll actually employ me as their staff, because I'd love to work at that school. It's an amazing school. And so yeah, that's where I'm working now. So I'm a teaching assistant. So basically what I do is I help the teacher with resources in the classroom, I help him teach the kids, I help him with all that behaviour management and stuff. And so basically like a teacher, but I'm not teaching, but it's a lot of running around. It's like you're like an assistant working at a desk, because like the teacher's like, can you do this, Renee, can you print off this, can you do that, can you do that? So it's a lot of, if you can't deal with that somebody telling you what to do and telling you how to run around is probably not a job for you. But yes, there's a lot of that, and sometimes it's very overwhelming, I can't lie. Like, it's very like, oh my days, like this is so tiring, but it's such a rewarding job. I help kids of all disabilities, all ages, all backgrounds of life and races, and it's just amazing. So good, and it's such good experience, and I've got so many skills now from it, and I just praise God, and I thank him so much for what he's done in my life. Like, who knows what I would have done if I hadn't prayed to God and said, God, please help me, what am I gonna do? I thought that not going to uni was gonna ruin my whole career, my whole future. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but now here I am. Working in the schools also made me see that I don't want to be a teacher. Teaching is not for me. And so if say I'd gone to uni and I'd studied to be a teacher, and then I realized I didn't want to do it after I paid thousands of pounds for the degree, and I didn't want to do it. So this is like a blessing in disguise. And don't ever think that God hasn't got your back and he's not watching over you, because while you're thinking, oh, I'm never gonna make it, God has a plan for you, and all you need to do is see it through. It's hard, but at the end of the road, God will have something for you. He always does. He will never ever let you down. I'm always telling people this. God will never let you down, and he never let me down. And you know, I just praise God for all that he's done. And now I'm in the job that I'm doing. I'm making money. You know, I've got this channel, and I've been able to pay for this camera, for these lights, for everything I have. I'm able to pay for it. I don't have to go to my parents and ask them for money. I can do everything myself. I can take my parents out. I can start paying bills. So I just thank God so much for all that he's done, because none of this would have been possible if I hadn't prayed and believed and had faith that God will come through for me. And so yeah, I just want to say thank you to Demi and Rihanna that let me know about Sugarman as well. So thank you for allowing God to use you to come and speak to me. And so yeah, I just wanted to explain that, because a lot of people ask me, what is your job, what do you do? And it's a long story to it. So that is the story, and I hope you guys were encouraged by this and know that believe in God and have faith that he can see it through, and just hold on. Like, go through the storms, the trials and tribulations, go through it, because at the end of it there'll be a blessing. So yeah, I hope this was a good video and you guys benefited from it, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.
It hurt my head, bro. I think it affected my GCSE still. Bro, I